Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last video we've built a basic WebSocket server and we've done some testing. Okay, in this video we're going to continue and finish off the Webrtc signaling server. Alright, let's get started. We'll start off, make a object, okay, to store all our users as they come in. Okay, and we'll do the types for this as well. Okay, and that will be an empty object. Okay, and next we are going to start dealing with the WebSockets here. Okay, let's get rid of, no, keep that. Okay, let's make a variable here as well for room, so we can use it further down the application. Okay, that's the reason why we're putting it outside on event under the connection. Okay, because all the other methods are under the umbrella of connection. So the reason why I do this is we can access these variables outside outside the the connection function. Okay, the username. All right, now we go into here. Let's get rid of this, we don't need this anymore. Okay, we'll make a helper function first to validate the JSON string, okay, when it comes in. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna let's make this is JSON string, because if we don't do this, it will throw an error if the front end gives the wrong format of the JSON string. Okay, and we'll do a try catch here. JSON.parse and string. Okay, that's what we're gonna get. Oops. Okay, and then if we get an error, we will return false. Okay, else if there's no error, we will return true. Okay, let's go back to the top and we will verify this. Go const JSON validation equals, that's the function we just made. Okay, and we're going to pass over the message that we get from the WebSockets. Okay, and we'll do an if statement here. If it's not, because if it's not if it's not valid, it will return false. Okay, that's what this this sign here, this if statement does. Okay, so if it's an error, we'll just console log it out for now. Okay, of course you can send this information back to the client side, and we're going to return. Okay, so we don't go any further. Okay, and then next we need to pass the message as it comes in. Okay, we'll make a new variable for this. We'll call it events. Okay, so we can pass it down to the app. You see what I mean in a sec. Okay, JSON pass message. Okay, and then we will make these variables, okay, from the object we get from the client side. Okay, okay, just remember these. We need these we need to structure our JSON object this way later on. Okay, you'll see what I mean when we get into the front end stuff. Okay, okay, now username, and of course there's many different ways you can do this. This is just one way of doing this thing. Okay, and now we will do a switch. Okay, this is autocomplete, but okay, and we want to grab the event type. That's what we're going to send. Okay, the reason why this is a type, event type, this doesn't exist yet, but when we pass in from the front end, we will make a key that is a type, and then we can filter down. Okay, and the keys we're going to make, first one's join. Okay, that's, and we'll pass it down. We'll make a separate function for this in a sec. Okay, we'll just go on join. Okay, and we will pass down the room, the ID, and the WebSocket. Okay, because we need the WebSocket to send the messages back. Okay, we're going to make all the cases first, then we will go and make these functions in a sec. Okay, and the second one we will get is an offer. Okay, these are just standard WebRTC stuff. Okay, on offer, again we need to pass these down. And you might say, hey, why don't we just write these functions here? You can, but the code looks messy. Okay, so you can write it. You can write the whole function here. It will work the same. The reason why I do this, because the code looks a lot better if we separate the functions. That's the reason. Okay, and the third one would be answer on answer. Again, okay, we're pretty much passing the same old thing, on every single function, I should say. And break it. Case candidate on candidate room ID WS events. Almost there. Break. Case. I think this is the last one. Disconnect on disconnect room. As we go down, this will make more sense. Now it doesn't make sense because it's giving us red lines there. Okay, now one more thing before we go and make those functions is we better deal with if the user refreshes page or leaves this page without telling us. Okay, what do? We need to handle this close event that we get out of the box. Okay, from the WebSocket package. Okay, we just need to write a function for this. What do? We'll just console log it for now. Okay, we'll deal with it later. Console log user gone. Okay, for now. Okay, let's start making these functions. Okay, the first one we'll do is on join. Cons on join. We'll make it as async function. Okay, we might not need it, but it doesn't hurt to do it. So first one we want is the room from it, and it will be a string, and the ID also it's a string. Username also it's a string. Okay, and this one will be a little bit different. Okay, that we'll call it socket, which is the WS. Okay, the types for this is WebSocket. And the events. Okay, since we don't, well, we know, but we can define this. I'm not going to do it, but you can define all what's in the object. So for this purpose, for our purpose, we'll just use any. Okay, it's not a good practice, but without knowing what's in this event object, any will do fine, will work. Okay. All right, now we need to check. I'll write it out first and I'll explain what this does, okay? Because this might make more sense, once I write it. Rooms dot set ID socket or new map. Okay, let me explain this. This rooms is this object we created on the top. Okay, basically what we're doing is when the user comes in, when it joins, what we do is we check this, okay, room, and if it's sys, if this room's already there, it will just add the ID, the user ID and the socket information into this object. Okay, and if it doesn't assist, it will create a new one, okay, a new room basically in our object. Okay, that's what this thing do. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to send the information back to the user, okay, from here. So what we're going to do, because we're going to do a lot of this, so we're going to write another helper function, okay, so we can just call a helper function later on. Okay, we'll call this cons notify. Okay, we're happy with this name. Yep. Okay, okay, a few parameters, okay, we require. We need to know what room it is so we can find this user, okay, and the user ID, okay, and the username of this guy, and the type. Okay, this is the type I'm talking about, is in the object. What type of event is this? Basically, that's what it means. Okay, or method. It could be a offer, answer, so on, you know, because we're sending it back to the user, so we need to define what it is, you know, what this message is. That's what this type thing is. Okay, so first of all, we need to find a connected pair. We'll define a room. Okay, we'll find a room first, and we'll call this connected pairs. Okay, and we'll get the rooms from the room variable we pass in, so we get the object into this variable here. Okay, and then we will have to loop through this room to find this person. Okay, for each. Okay, and we will need to get the socket. Okay, what this notify, I just notice here, what this notify function is when the user comes in, we need to send it to everyone else except for ourselves, telling who's in the room, who just came in. Okay, it's basically kind of like a broadcast message. Okay, hold on. The first thing we expected is a socket, and the type. Yes, TypeScript is kind of pain, you know. You need to know the types for everything. It makes it difficult sometimes. So, you know, that anything is pretty good, isn't it? But don't use it too much. User not equals ID. Okay, what this is the user, which is the user in this object, not equals to us. So that means we're not sending this message back to us ourselves. Okay, and then we do some magic here. Okay, we'll construct the message, what we're going to send back to the user first. Okay, and the type is the type we passed in. Okay, and then we'll put this in the data object. Okay, total, that means the total pairs. Okay, and to get that is the size, it's called, of the object. Okay, and remote user, we'll call it remote user, and we'll give the ID of the remote users, who's in the room. Okay, and the remote username. What we need the username for is we want to put his name onto the window. If you've seen the demo, below the video we put a name of the, you know, whoever you're talking with. Okay, we have a name there. That's what this is. Okay, response equals, because we've got to pass this into a string, then send it, okay? Because the socket send expects a string, okay? Send ESP. Okay, this socket doesn't like it. We better put the proper types for it. WebSocket. Okay, see all these red lines? That's beauty of TypeScript, isn't it? We missed the bracket here. Okay, once we've put a bracket, everything it works. Okay, just to prove that, get rid of that, and we get the autocomplete. Okay, and we give back the response. Okay, now let's go back to our join function. What do we do? Okay, once we edit the room, okay, then we will notify. That's that function we just did. Okay, we need to pass the room, the ID, username, and the event, and this is called join. Okay, so this is it. That's what this does. I'll explain it. Okay, again, basically what we're doing is once we edit the room, we need to send this information back to the user. Okay, by calling this function, we're passing in the room so we can find the person or the users or the peers in the room. Okay, and then we will send them a message back, except for ourselves. Okay, we don't need to tell ourselves that we're in the room. Okay, we need to notify everybody in the room that is not us, that we have came in. Okay, come in the room. That's what this does. Okay, the next, let's move on. Okay, we've seen some beautiful red lines here, or sexy red lines. The reason being is we missed something here. Okay, I'm kind of doing all of this purpose to show you, you know, why the reason you would choose TypeScript, because there's a lot more work you need to like type in, but once you spend that time, it's worth it, because the reason is this function down here, we're expecting 5 variables and we're only passing 4. What are we missing? If you hop over here, it tells you what's missing. Okay, so we're missing the username. We never passed that on, so we need to pass the username along, comma. Now we're happy. Okay, so this is pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, the next one we're going to do offer on offer. Okay, we better fix all this first, otherwise we'll be seeing this red line all the time. Okay, why don't we just go like this, because we're passing practically the same thing, you know, to everybody. So do that. Okay, oops, on disconnect. Okay, the next one, let's do this one. It is on offer. What we're going to do, save us some typing. Just going to copy this, because it's practically the same thing, really. Okay, and we'll do that on offer. Okay, and what we do on offer is really easy, because we're doing P2P. Okay, let's make another what do you call it, a helper function, okay, to help us to broadcast the information. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a type for our broadcast object first. Okay, we'll go interface, and we'll call it broadcast. How about obj object? That's pretty obvious, isn't it? Okay, method. Call this method. It's a string. And data, any, because there's going to be so many styles of it, so we'll just use it as any. Okay, now let's start making this helper function. Okay, we'll call this broadcast. Okay, what we want for this function is we want the room, the ID, string, object, okay, and the object type is that type we just made above, okay, and the function. Alright, what we pretty much same as the other one, okay, because just the structure is slightly different, okay. To start off, we'll just copy and paste that, and then we need to go over the room as we did above the notify function. The difference is we are passing this object in straight away because we constructed already, okay. So basically I'm showing you two ways that you can do this actually, because with some modification you can actually use this notify function, but this is another way to do, you know, essentially the same thing, okay. Now we really do use this function, so we go back to on offer. Okay, here we go. All we need to do is broadcast and then pass the info across, and then events, okay, and we're done on this. I'm telling you, we're almost done because the rest of it is pretty much the same thing, okay. On answer, I'm just going to copy and paste those for you because these are just the same sort of same thing, okay. I think I spelled broadcast wrong. Sorry. Let's go back here. Alright, that makes more sense now. Okay, basically what we do is we get on offer and we send it back to the other users with our information, okay. It's basically doing a forwarding type of thing here, okay. That's what this does. Okay, candidate, okay. Okay, we're pretty much done. Okay, we just need one more thing, is the on leave and on disconnect. Okay, on leave, here's the function on leave. Basically what we're doing is when someone leaves, we go into this room, okay, and delete him, remove him, and then we notify the other people in the room this person is gone, okay. And we need one more, which is this here, on disconnect. Okay, and we will put that on here, okay, and we're seeing some more red lines. Okay, the reason is those copy and paste functions do not need this username, so we'll just remove that. Okay, and we're pretty much done. Okay, we're going to deal with this one as well. Okay, on close, we're going to call that leave function as well. Okay, leave, and now we can because we within this function, so we can access these variables up here. Okay, that's the reason why I put these here, so we can use it in this leave function. Okay, username, and then the room we pass on. Okay, we are done. This is it. Let's run it, see if it works, see if it throws any errors. Okay, let me have a look. Serve. Okay, server. Is it server or serve? Serve. Huh. Alright, cool. No errors. That means it's working. Okay. Let's do a little code overview, I'll take a little bit more of your time, okay, to explain to you the whole flow. Basically, when it comes in as a join, and then we go into on join, okay, and we go and check if this person is in this object, okay, we create up here. Basically we keep a record here of who's in the room, okay. If this room doesn't assist, we create a new one, and then we will notify anyone or everyone in the room that I have joined, okay. That's what's this on join. And then on offer is whenever someone makes an offer, okay, it will come in here, and then we will forward the information of what's in the offer. Okay, it's a standard WebRTC offer. We will talk a little bit more in when we do the front end, okay, because this isn't really anything to do with WebRTC yet. Okay, all it does is receiving the message and forward it to the other peer. This is what this does, okay, and so on. Okay, all these methods do the same thing. That's why we can just copy and paste. Alright, that's simple, isn't it? We just built a WebRTC signaling server, okay, with TypeScript and also the WebSocket package rather than Socket.io, because Socket.io does most of the things for you already, which is nice but not ideal because you're not learning how to write everything, you know, from scratch. Okay, this is end of this lesson. Okay, all the source code download link is down below. Alright, until the next one, I'll see you there.